Episode 734. The competitive modes in online games are highly flexible, letting players set the scale themselves, unlike the Pro League where the group arena is always 3 versus 3 and the team competition is 5 versus 5 with one substitute. In the game, players can set the number of participants themselves. Once a team exceeds 10 members, it's no longer a team battle, it's called a battlefield mode. The largest scale can reach 100 versus 100 in an epic clash. This battle mode, the Pro League would never go for it. You'd have to be insane to field 100 pro players on a single team.
Oh, so from the Three Realms Guild leader's perspective, which mode would be better for us?
Zhang Yu asked.
We're all club presidents here, so playing by Pro League rules is the best way to go.
Sanjay Ludao said without a second thought, if it really came to a large-scale battle, he would never agree to it. With the scale this big, it would test the club's overall strength. He was worried Zhang Yu's words were setting a trap, which was why he brought it up specifically. The three from Misty Rainlock were naturally on the Three Realms Six Paths side. They'd just overlooked this issue before. The moment the Three Realms and Six Paths were brought up, they snapped to attention, practically raising both hands and feet to show their support.
I have no objections. What about the rest of you?
Zhang Yu agreed without a moment's hesitation. The others he referred to were none other than the three guilds, Herb Hall, Blue Brook Pavilion, and Jaya Dynasty. This kind of plan basically forced top guilds like them to abandon their advantages, pulling the starting line back so they were on equal footing with the other guilds. Even if tyrannical dominance agreed, these three might not. As it turned out, among the three guilds, Shunyi Lao from Blue Brook Guild was a straightforward man. He had already agreed with Zhang Yu earlier, and without a second thought, he immediately voiced his approval. The other two guilds saw the writing on the wall and raised no further objections. Still, both left themselves an out, agreeing only to this temporary fix. As for the future, they'd see how things played out. Since all the guild leaders had personally led their teams to the boss fight this time, there was no need to set up a discussion group outside the game. They just gathered in the center of the circle, exchanged a few words, and quickly hashed things out. Poor Yi Shu and Wei Chen, though, two former pro team captains, reduced to lurking outside the circle like a couple of creeps, trying to eavesdrop. But after all this time, the other guilds' teams haven't budged an inch. Clearly, they hadn't killed anyone yet. They were still in the middle of negotiations.
What a bore. What's there to negotiate? In the end, it's all scheming and wasting time.
Wei Chen said, his dissatisfaction plain.
Doesn't look quite right to me.
What?
Negotiation is part of the scheme. In that time, they should have already started making moves in secret. But look at their team. They haven't moved an inch, no hidden reinforcements either. Doesn't exactly look like they're serious about negotiating, does it?
No way. We've been at each other's throats for years, and now he suddenly changes his tune.
Wei Chen wasn't buying it. The two of them were still speculating when the 8 major guilds finally reached a decision, unanimously adopting Zhang Yu's proposal. Big guilds like the Hall of Herbs and the Jia Dynasty left themselves some wiggle room, while slightly lesser ones like Misty Rain and 100 Blossoms were all for it, eager to see this solution locked in forever. Once the plan was finalized, the 8 guild leaders immediately signed a joint agreement, with public oversight as a witness. It was quickly posted across all forums and officially published on each guild's website as proof. Once everything was settled, everyone returned to the game. Next up, arena combat to decide the boss's ownership. Chen Guo was out on the street, setting up a stall to sell materials. This kind of thing could be done on autopilot, no real operation needed, so it was pretty leisurely. She'd glance at the game every now and then, but spent most of her time scrolling through forum posts. Scrolling up and down, a new post caught her eye. Something about 8 major guilds staking their reputation on it sounded pretty arrogant. Chen Guo clicked on it, and for a moment she was stunned.
It can't be that much of a coincidence, can it?
Chen Guo muttered to herself, lounging in idle comfort. Meanwhile, Ye Shu had long since abandoned his homemade equipment, so naturally she kept glancing over to see what he was up to. Yi Shu had been summoned to the Poison Fang Swamp. joining Wei Chen and the others in their scheme for the boss. Chen Guo took note of this. She didn't have anything pressing on her end and was still mulling over whether to sign up and join in herself. But before she could make up her mind, scrolling through the posts had brought the action right to her doorstep.
Hey, look at this.
Chen Guo called out to Ye Shu. Ye Shu tilted his head, starting off casually enough. But the moment his eyes landed on Chen Guo's screen, he straightened up and quickly scanned through the content. Meanwhile, the 8 major guilds in the game had already made their move. Yi Shu heard Wei Chen's voice crackle through his headset.
Oh, what's this? Clearing the field.
Yi Shu's gaze drifted back to his own screen, and he saw the players from the 8 major guilds suddenly begin to stir. The teams scattered, spreading out in every direction.
We need to avoid this.
Yi Shu took one look at the situation and knew dodging was going to be tough, especially since Wei Chen's dozen or so brothers were just average players with no miracle tricks up their sleeves. There was no way they could handle a scene like this.
You just worry about yourself.
Then Yi Shu heard Wei Chen say that with great smugness. He turned his view back and was left speechless. The 2 teams of players, led by Wei Chen's windward formation, had all displayed their titles above their heads. Every single one of them was from a major guild. Wei Chen's windward formation was from Blue Brook Guild, along with 3 others. Beyond them, there were members from Herb Garden, Excellent Dynasty, and Tyrannical Ambition, 20 in total, all perfectly accounted for under these 8 guilds.
Only here in this guild, deep in the clouds, I know not where. Know not where.
Wei Chen was still reciting poetry. In a situation like this, having a guild title overhead was the perfect cover. Not just between different guilds, even within his own guild, it was impossible for everyone to know everyone else.
Playing cultured, huh? Since you're so literate, why don't you go check the forums?
Yi Shu tossed out that remark, and Lord Grimm promptly began to dodge first.
Forum? What's going on?
Wei Chen saw Lord Grimm had already made a run for it, so he didn't bother shouting. He just sent a message to ask.
These guilds really did come up with something interesting this time.
What kind of tricks?
A peaceful resolution.
Come on, seriously?
Wei Chen was taken aback. Alone and outnumbered, there was only one way he could snatch the boss from the major guilds, stir up the waters and fish in the chaos. The more chaotic the scene, the more openings they had to exploit. But they wanted a peaceful resolution, so harmonious in fact, that there was no place left for a wretched, shady character like Wei Chen to hide.